Welcome, everyone, to another Mindfulness Broadcast. Happy Friday morning. My name is Theo, and I am going to continue this week with where we left off last week, which is with Rick Hanson's Qualities of Mindfulness. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Welcome, Robert. Um, and I'll take you through some material and then we'll do a practice. Okay, so you should all see a quote here from Rumi, which says, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So we can think of the work that we're doing as a reductive process, not an additive process in that sense, right? So we're taking away the things that stand in the way of what you might think of as like our original nature, right? So as a refresher, let's look at the qualities of mindfulness that come out of a mindfulness practice according to Rick Hanson. And this is out of the book Neurodharma, which is a way of kind of looking at mindfulness practice as it relates to brain science and also kind of the kind of original teachings of mindfulness. So we have steadiness, which is what we talked about last week. And this week we're going to focus on lovingness. We also have fullness, wholeness, nowness, allness, and timelessness. And this stuff, man, when you get into these chapters, it gets a little wild. So just be warned if you pick up that book. Okay, so we are going to talk about lovingness, the second quality, and talk about both the practice, but also some of the things that can happen as we start to engage a practice that helps us develop this quality of lovingness. And one of the correlates that we can think of in terms of bridging the gap between what might feel more spiritual or more woo and kind of grounding ourselves into something that feels a little bit more applicable in our day-to-day or our workplace is emotional intelligence. And we know from all the research that emotional intelligence is one of the primary markers of a successful and sustainable career or just life in general, right? Like the more emotional intelligence we have, the better able we are to navigate life's challenges because the emotional intelligence that we carry helps us improve the way that we attach and the social resonance that we carry in all of our relationships. And if we can think of the quality of our relationships as being some of the primary determining factors of how well we're able to do as we, make our way through life, this is really important stuff. So, attachment and social resonance, I'll bring it home with a story. Because as most of you most likely want to have better and better relationships with people. And I especially want to have better and better relationships with my wife, right? Or relationship with my wife. I only have one wife, in case anyone's wondering. Anyway, my wife wants me to carry a lot of bricks for our backyard, and I don't want to carry a lot of bricks. So this is getting in the way of my attachment and my social resonance. It's getting in the way of my lovingness. And so then if I have a practice that can help me to conjure more lovingness, to become more emotionally intelligent, it's going to go a long way in not avoiding conflict, because conflict is in some ways inevitable, or differences, we could say, are somewhat inevitable. But there are ways that we can train ourselves such that these differences or conflicts can be navigated more successfully, right? We can come to better ends the more we train in these types of practices. I'll give you an update on the bricks. Perhaps the next time I see you, you can ask me about it. Okay, so what are the ways that these practices that we can do, whether it's a self-compassion practice, a loving kindness practice, a just like me practice, any of these types of practices that are essentially intended to cultivate a state of lovingness, cultivate a state of empathy. What are they providing for us when we start to look under the hood? Well, they're starting to engage resonance circuits and mirror neurons within our brain and within our nervous system. They're actually kind of pumping these types of circuitry in positive ways. And again, just as a reminder, we're trying to move from state to trait. So when we do the practice in a little bit here, in a perfect world, you will have experienced a state shift, right? So you arrived at this class in a certain state, and ideally, when we're finished, you will be in a little bit of a different state. And the more we do that, the more we become trait, changing in trait. So we shift our state, and then over time, we shift our traits. The other thing that happens when we do exercises like this is we take advantage of our internal pharmacy. So we start to spike in oxytocin and dopamine when we cultivate lovingness towards others or towards ourselves. And it feels good, right? Oxytocin and dopamine feel good, and we can cultivate them intentionally. So that's a real motivator for me. I don't know about you. We also start to target the social roots of our own suffering. And that could come from insecure attachment. That could come from feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, resentment, all the things that we humans suffer from when we're feeling socially discontent in whatever form. That could be at work, it could be in a relationship. But we start to target these things. And again, over time, we're moving from state to trait. So we become more resilient, and those relationships become easier to manage. And we start to address this core need that we have for connection and empathy, right? We are social primates, and this is a core part of how we exist. And so what we're doing is we're just playing to that truth, right? Almost like we're playing to our strengths in that regard. And that allows us to evolve more and more into our, like I said earlier, original nature. And as we do that, we are less reactive and more responsive. So we're able to push the pause button within those situations that in the past maybe caused reactive states, caused perhaps some less adaptive responses or reactions to situations, and move more towards responsive states that are skillful, that help us to make those relationships more loving, more durable, more harmonious, and more effective. All right, so that is the information. Now let's move to the practice. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. And as always, I'm going to invite you to just notice where you are in time and space. Acknowledge the room that you're in. Maybe look around a little bit. Anyone who might have some challenges with anxious feelings in their mind or body, you can go ahead and kind of take a look behind you to the left, behind you to the right, and just to whatever extent is true for you, acknowledge safety where you are right now. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to, if you want, close your eyes, or if not, you can kind of keep your eyes half closed. And we'll just take a few deep breaths. Breathe into the belly. Hold for a moment. Then release. Long, complete release. A few seconds longer than the inhale. And then pause. And then breathing back into the belly. Hold and release. Exaggerated, slow, and complete. And pause. And one more breath in. And hold. And release. Getting all the air out of the lungs, out of the belly. And then let your breath return to its natural state. Just noticing that you're breathing, breathing in, breathing out. And then I'd like you to just call to mind a time in your life, either recently or from the past, where you felt really cared for. Could have been with a family member or a partner or even a pet. Sometimes this mode of our nervous system is referred to as attend and befriend. So someone was attending you, someone was caring for you. Perhaps they were holding you, perhaps they were listening to you as you described something hard in your life, but you felt their care. So just bring that to mind and notice as you hold that in your mind, what happens in your felt experience. What sensations are you noticing? Perhaps there's some warmth or some lightness. Perhaps there's a tinge of emotion, some tenderness. Then I'm going to invite you to thank whoever this was for their care. You can even offer them these words. May you be well. May you be free from fear. May you be happy. May you be at peace. And again, noticing what it feels like to offer care after having been in touch with what it's like to receive care. And now I'd like you to call to mind someone in your life. Could be someone at work, could be someone in your family, could be someone that you pass by on your drive to work, someone who's having a hard time. Hold them in your mind. and offer them care in whatever way feels natural to you. Maybe it's with a gesture, maybe it's holding them in a peaceful place in your mind, whatever resonates with you. Then again, we can offer them these words. May you be well. May you be free from fear. May you be happy. May you be at peace. And again, noticing what it feels like to engage in this capacity to be cared for and to care for others. Noticing any shift in state that you may have experienced over the last few minutes, and just noting it to yourself. This is a practice, this is a skill that can be cultivated over time and can help us to reduce our suffering, to become more emotionally intelligent, more capable of caring for ourselves and others. And if it's helpful, you can also set an intention to carry this into your day. Carry this into your interactions with others. And then when you're ready, you can slowly return to the space where you are. Start to acclimate to Friday morning